As I was saying, a lot of issues going on today. A lot of issues. Oh my god. Well, let's try this for the third time. Third time's a charm, right, guys? Jesus Christ. The forces that be does not want me to stream today, even though I wasn't even going to really do much in terms of stream, just talk. God forbid that happens, right? Oh my gosh. Kind of scared to get started now. If I say anything too much, my internet might blip again. Because that's what's been happening. It's like I'll start a stream, and within the first couple minutes, like the internet like blips really quick and shuts off and shuts back up and turns back on really fast. And of course, that's just enough of a loss of connection to shut everything down fully for some reason. And I don't know if it's just because I'm setting the stream up incorrectly or I don't know. But it says can't find internet connection or whatever for a second. And then it'll come back on, so I'll try again, and it does it again. I mean, it's been doing it a lot lately, out of the blue, for no real reason that I could find. And I am running an Ethernet cable through here, through my PC, right? It's not Wi-Fi. And it seems like the other Wi-Fi or the other internet, like on my phone and stuff, it doesn't do it through that. So it has to be a connection with the Ethernet cable. So I went back behind my PC and the Ethernet cable was kind of like not fully in all the way. So I'm thinking that maybe was the problem. So I pushed it in to make sure it was in all the way. So hopefully that solves it and that this doesn't happen again. I'm suspecting maybe it got knocked out or knocked loose a bit when we were moving my desk over here from where it used to be. Because we rearranged the living room. What was it, like a couple weeks ago? But I swear it's like whenever I'm not streaming and I'm just like doing stuff on my PC, I never have an issue with my internet. It's only when I like try to stream and then it like will blip for a second or two. But hopefully that fixes it. But that's some bullshit. So let's try starting the stream again for the third time. All right, third time is the charm. Third time's the charm and all that bullshit, right? So I didn't really know how to stream this, I guess. So I'm just using the Rainbow Host Club podcast to do this, I guess, which basically is a now defunct failed podcast. Because like it was gonna be me and Joao just talking about anime games and shit, right? But he's been having some personal issues that I'm not gonna get into here. So he's been kind of AFK from his computer for a while now, and probably will be for quite a while. So, which is like, I wish him the best and everything, of course. But I'm just kind of just gonna be using this as like makeshift podcast. I mean, I don't even want to call it a podcast. I don't know what it is. It's not a vlog because I'm not showing myself or showing my day-to-day life. This is basically just what Phil does, where I just turn on the camera, but I'm not the camera, but the stream, and just rant at you guys. But I'm not gonna rant at you, but I'm just gonna talk with you. But you know what I mean. I'm not guys, I really need all that money. I need those tips to pay my bills, so I'm gonna beg. I'm gonna use my whole pre-screen podcast to beg. I'm not doing that. Don't worry. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm basically just making this kind of not really to vent, just to talk about different things, mostly related to Lolcows in general, not so much just Phil. I just watched that Boogie 2988 on stream with you guys. That was interesting. Definitely interesting. And the whole Muda versus Boogie after the fact and all that. And then you got DSP and a bunch of other idiots. Like, they're all lolcows, right? It's, but they don't realize how much of a lolcow it is. I think it's, well, before I get into that, let me, like, there's something else I do. Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, why I have seemed to have such a hard time streaming, it seems. Like, I obviously, I'm fine when it comes to recording videos. I'm better at that. I feel that's my strong suit. But I do enjoy streaming. The problem is, it's more difficult for me than it seems to be difficult for most other people. It seems. Yeah, I did see that. People were all asking about the documentary, which I do want to watch. I don't know if I should bother just watching it normally or if I should try to restream me watching it. I don't really know, though. I don't think there's a whole lot of interest in me restreaming it. So I might just watch it myself. But I do want to watch that, though. It looked pretty good. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. It's just like, I'm not making excuses. I'm not. But, like, my brain's kind of scatterbrained a bit. So, like, I don't know if it's, like, because I'm on the spectrum or because I have ADHD or whatever. But, like, it's all over the place. So it's hard to focus on the smaller little things you need to get ready to get a stream to work properly on YouTube. Right? Because it seems kind of easy, but it's actually not. And I'm trying to learn OBS. But even with that, it's still somewhat difficult. Like, there's this thing called the application audio capture, which I need to use in order to capture the audio that you're listening to these music from right now, right? And that, every time you start a stream, you have to make sure it's working. And I was struggling. I'm probably going to delete the failed streams that only went for like a minute or two before they failed. But, like, I was struggling to get it to capture because, like, I was clicking the right window for the application audio data, the window that I know, the browser window that I know has the music playing through that I wanted to capture, and it was not reading that it was picking up the audio at all. And I'm like, why is it not picking up the audio at all? I know that's the right browser window. I mean, I know it doesn't help that I have like 40 or 50 different browser windows open, but I know which one it is on that is playing this song right now, you know? I know which one that is. It should be working. But it wasn't. So, like, you got to manage all that. You got to make sure the window capture is up good. The waveform visualizer, which thankfully doesn't really get corrupted from time to time. I can just leave it, like, setting it up once, and it seems to work pretty good for the rest of that. I haven't ever talked to Duty. I know Logan has helped me before with behind the scenes stuff, and that has helped a lot. The problem is my memory's trash, so he showed me how to get, like, he showed me once how to get this my chat onto the stream and showing it up on the stream. I don't fucking remember. Like, he walked me through it the whole time once, and I appreciate that of him a lot. I can't fucking remember what he told me how to do. And that's on me, because my memory's not very good. You know? But to be honest, I always thought having your own chat on the screen is kind of a diversion. I don't know. Plus, I'm not nearly as big as these other detractors, so I don't really have a whole lot of people talking to my chat to where it even matters. You know, it's not like my chat's going a mile a minute or anything, you know? Excuse me. I'm drinking a Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade right now. Because I'm a wuss and I don't like the taste of actual beer. Basically. I swear this is not just a bitch fit. I'm just explaining some things here before I get into it. So, like, I got, like, issues like that. I don't know Well, I mean, I can't monetize myself anyway, even if I wanted to, which I don't want to. I don't plan on monetizing my shit because I don't do this for a job. You know what I mean? But like, I don't have the stats for that anyway, so that I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about pop-ups for notifications and all that shit because I just don't have to worry about it. So that's nice that I don't have to worry about that shit. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be fine. I don't know. It seems like every time I swear, it feels like I'm getting the hang of streaming. It's like something else breaks or something goes weird that I forget how to do that. You know what I mean? And I did purchase these like, oh look, it's a stream is starting soon and switching videos and I like a short break and all these things. All these different slides and everything. And I do think that's cool. Right, because I think it's just the aesthetic, I like a lot of it, you know. So I did buy that for pretty cheap. It wasn't expensive at all, and I think that's neat. I did set that up, so I do actually have multiple scenes. I know how to use that. Some things I still don't know how to do that other people do though. Like you know how like some people will take the DSP's cam and like enlarge it and move it around. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, that's beyond me. So like just shit like that. But I'm learning, and it's slow going, but I'm learning. But it just feels like I'm like ages behind everyone else who already obviously started before me in it, though. You know. And, well, I'm maybe above DSP a little bit in terms of doing that. I can obviously put pictures up in front of it, like my icons, instead of DSP, who doesn't even bother like getting rid of the background of pictures. He just has the whole ass thing up, you know. And this is all assuming my damn internet cooperates with me. But hopefully that was the issue, and hopefully I fixed that. Because it wasn't the internet actual issue, it was the stupid Ethernet cable. God, this stupid song. But yeah, this is like, I don't really know what this is. This isn't me going over videos. I'm not really reacting to anything. It's just kind of me talking. Mostly just because I'm bored and I really kind of want to like just talk to someone. Like my boyfriend's at work right now. I have the day off. And I'm also using this to procrastinate because I should be doing the dishes, but I really don't want to do the dishes right now. So I'm procrastinating a bit. Such is life, you know, but so I just wanted to talk about like lolcows in general, right? I guess we can get into that. And like, what would be the likelihood that someone might like accidentally fall into being a lolcow, right? And we would love to think that like, oh, I would never be one. Oh no, not me. Like I'm not like these people. And like for the most part, that might be true, yeah. But I feel like, how do I phrase this? While they all share different traits of being a narcissist, and a lot of them are narcissists, I feel like that wasn't how they originally started, and that maybe just like it's a slippery slope by being on YouTube in the first place, and then you get into the habit of oversharing a bit too much, and that could lead into one thing, snowball into another thing and another thing. Sorry, and before you know it, you know, I don't know. I don't really know much about Raven's Dolphin. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I know of him, but that's about it. And like, I'm not here to armchair psychologize anyone either. Except for Phil, maybe. Because Phil's the only one I've known long enough. Not known personally, obviously, thank God. But like, watched his shit content long enough to know that's the real Phil. He's not putting on a character. He's not like pretending to be someone he's not. That's who he fucking is. You know what I mean? Just listen to the song for a second. And like, obviously for me myself, I'm not gonna give too much information, but at one point or another, I had a Kiwi Farms thread made of me. In 2018, I think it was. It was very short-lived. Mostly because I wasn't really doing content that much. So they rapidly ran out of things to talk about me. And that was in 2018, and I found out about it. And at first I was hurt or mad or whatever. And then I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Like I made an account on Kiwi Farms that I actually like started posting in my own thread to kind of like confront them. Not in a cringy sort of way, just to be like, yeah, because literally the whole point of the thread was, oh, I'm a cringy trans person, right? Because fucking, oh, if you're on the internet and you're a trans person, you're super cringe and a lolcow, apparently. And oh, because you're into maybe certain lifestyles, oh, that instantly makes you cringe or whatever. And I'm like, I guess maybe if you're coming from that kind of transphobic angle in the first place. But at the same time, it's not like I was forcing any of my beliefs. I wasn't like fucking Keffels. You know what I mean? Because as one trans person, I don't like Keffels. And it's not because she's trans, it's just because she isn't a good person. And the many mistakes she's made and everything like that, I just don't like her, you know? She handled that situation very poorly. And doesn't seem to like understand where other people are coming from when they criticize her. You know what I mean? But on the same time, I'd like to also believe that I've grown mentally as a person from when this thread was first made about me. And I realized that by putting certain things on the internet opens you up to criticism. It opens you up to being mocked or laughed at for your things. And you have to have like thick enough skin to be able to handle that. Otherwise, you shouldn't be making content online, I guess. And that's kind of a shitty thing to think about or think that's how it works. But it kind of is. Because when you make whatever, like even if you like, because I wasn't making video content, I was just posting some pictures on my Twitter, and it wasn't naked pictures, it wasn't anything stupid like that. But I was like just being involved in the communities I was in on Twitter and stuff like that. And obviously being trans and stuff, so like that opened me up to that, you know? And even more so now that I'm actually making video content, opens me up even further to that. But I did like go onto my own Kiwi Farms thread at the time, and I was just like, I wasn't spurging out. I was just kind of like correcting them on things that they had gotten wrong. Like, that's not actually accurate. Because the thing I've realized also from my unique perspective of having a Kiwi Farms thread on me at one point in time was that there was a shitload of speculation as well. Like, and obviously I don't have like the crazy ass video backlog and 14 years of posting shit online for them to draw from like they do with Phil, right? And yeah, in the detracting community that I'm in now, we're talking about Phil and stuff, we do some speculation, but a lot of it is literally contradicted by shit that he has said himself. Well, obviously that was not the case with me. and it was just making like random huge leaps in logic and assumptions just based solely on nothing, on what other people have done in the same communities, the same furry communities and the same trans communities, stuff like that, right? So like I was just kind of on there, I was like, well, that's not actually true, this is what it is, or whatever, and then they would ask me some questions and I would honestly answer it, and eventually the thread ran out of momentum, and thankfully it just basically kind of died or whatever. It's still there if you like know how to find it. I'm not going to give you the information, but if you like, I think I've dropped enough clues that you could probably find it if you really wanted to, and I don't really care either way, but I'm not going to just give you the information. That and the what the hell was the other one called? There was Kiwi Farms, and there was Encyclopedia Dramatica had basically the same information Kiwi Farms did. They were just kind of sharing the same thing. And I know Encyclopedia Dramatica like dropped off quite a few times. And like, there are people that are actual lolcows, and then there's just autistic, sort of cringy people that don't really do anything to really warrant what being a lolcow kind of entails. It's not like me and people like me were like as bad as DSP or fucking Wings of Boogie, where we're manipulating people, where we're begging for money, where we're taking advantage of other people. These are just people that are living their normal lives to the best that they can do given the circumstances given to them and everything, right? Hi, Mackie. This is not a normal thread. This is just kind of me talking about lolcows in general. It's more of just like a, I don't know, shitty podcast / vent thing, I guess. Where was I? Yeah, so it's not like people like us were like nearly as deserving of the hatred that we got compared to like people like fucking DSP and shit, you know what I mean? It's just people that were probably on the spectrum in some way or another that didn't really fit into societal norms like that. And I'm not over here, like, I can see from an outside perspective why some people would like make fun of them, because like I get it, like you see people being cringy, you want to make fun of them, all right, but like full-on doxing a person for that, I mean, that's kind of fucked up. Or like threatening to try to get their get them fired from a job. Like, we criticize DSP for not having a job, and you're over here trying to get someone who didn't really do any harm to anyone, get them fired from having a job. So what? So they go on unemployment and then you shit on them for being unemployed when you caused it? How fucked up is that? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And like I said, a lot of the times, some of the reason why people label the lolcow in the first place is just because they're either like gay, trans, a furry in these communities like this, you know, or autistic. And I'm not even talking about fucking Derek, okay? Because that's a whole nother topic of bad. You know what I mean? Like, he's legitimately a threat to people. It's not like Derek's just living his best life. No, he's gonna like fucking do something bad to someone, or hurt someone, you know. But so I'm like thinking like, well, is it a slippery slope for someone to become a lolcow just because you fall outside the societal norms that can happen, or what society deems as normal? Because there isn't really a real normal. And like everyone has their own idea of what a normal would be, right? Obviously. I forgot where it's gonna go from here. Sorry. See, that's another thing. Like, I'll have a train of thought and I'll just lose it. It just drops. But And like I said before, I was thinking about possibly going over the new DSP documentary, but I don't know if I'll just watch that myself or not. And like, I get that it's really easy to overshare online because we're all seeking some sort of like validation or camaraderie, right? It's like, well, I'm feeling like this, and someone else would be like, or some people hoping someone else would go like, yeah, man, I understand that. I feel that way too, and you can kind of like bond as friends based on shared trauma, shared similarities, and past experiences and stuff like that, I guess. But the internet is not your therapist, though. And I say that, and then someone's probably gonna clip this and like go back and was like, "Well, you did it" or something. I'm like, "Yeah, it's easy to do, you know." Obviously, we should try to practice what you preach or whatever, but you know, it's a easy trap to fall into if you want to say that or whatever. I did like the original version of the song. It's a good song. And if you look at existing detractors who eventually became their own kind of lolcow, it's very easy to fall into that trap. You got Soma, you got Pastor Eric Miller, Raven, I guess. I don't really know what's going on with Raven, but so it's not as far-fetched as you might think it is, just to accidentally fall from grace. You make one bad take, you make one bad phrase, you say something that slips out your mouth and people take it the wrong way, and you could easily be on the receiving end of all this hatred, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying people aren't justified in criticizing them for that shit. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a trap that anyone can easily fall into. You know? You know what I mean, dude? And I think what matters is really like your intentions behind the words you say and what you do. You know, your actions kind of matter. It's odd. And it's like we're all under a magnifying glass here, where every word we say is analyzed. And going back to what I was talking about, like, I wish I was as eloquent in speaking as I am in writing, you know, because when I write, like, the words just come right to me, and like I love to write. Like, that's one of the things I do as a creative outlet. I write short stories and stuff, you know. And I do draw a bit too, but I'm not as good at drawing, I don't think, as I am at writing. And it's like when I'm writing, it's a lot easier for me to think about what I'm going to say and write down it like on the fly. But when I'm trying to talk, it's not. It doesn't translate into me talking. If that makes sense. I always have to pause. I have to think about more my train of thought is, because I'll have a train of thought and I'll get distracted easily. It's like I'm gonna say this, followed by this, followed by this. So I say this, and what was the rest? You know what I mean? It's so hard for me to stay focused, and I don't know if that's ADHD or what. I'm not over here trying to self-diagnose. I'm just saying it's more difficult for me, and that makes me come across as less of a professional, because I'm like, I lose my train of thought so easily. I lose what word I was meaning to say. It's like, oh, what was that word? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. And I take like a minute or two to try to fucking remember the right word I was trying to say. And it's so annoying. It really is. and it irritates me. It does. So because it, like, I don't know. And like at the end of the day, just being on YouTube in general, it really is kind of like a rat race. It's if someone cares at all about like their content being seen, or God forbid if they are trying to get paid for being on YouTube, or just like focusing on views and shit like that, right? It's tough because it is a popularity contest. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And some people are way more successful at it than others. You know, like I don't ever plan on making money off of this. No, but it means a lot if people are enjoying the content I do put out, that they're actually seeing the content I put out. And it's just natural for a human being to compare themselves to other people. And that's never a good thing to do, obviously. And it's very hard for some people to not do that. Because like our whole lives, we're like taught to like strive for the best, to keep improving, to like, you know, competition, you know what I mean? And so like someone that's just starting out in the attracted community, and then you see other people that are just starting out and they are doing significantly better than you are, and that gets to you sometimes, you know what I mean? Not because you're jealous, because I'm happy they're doing good. They make good content. This isn't anyone in specific. I'm just saying, throwing, you know what I mean? I'm just saying in general. You know? But it's something you can't help, and you try, deep down, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like as long as one person likes the shit that you do, that's all that really matters, right? And also, like streaming and doing this, I started doing this because I thought that I could provide a unique, different take on Phil and DSP and detractors, not detractors, sorry, and lolcows than anyone else. Namely because, like I said, I had a Kiwi Farms thread. I'm autistic. I'm also transgender, and part of the LGBT community, and I don't see that many detractors that are, you know. Phil in essence, oh my gosh. See again, I forgot where I was even going with that. And if I didn't start making content, I wouldn't have learned how to stream. I wouldn't have learned how to do OBS. So it has definitely been a worthwhile endeavor, for sure. One that I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. The only way I would do so, only reason I would do so, is if I was too busy. But right now, I still have plenty of free time to do that, because I'm not getting a whole lot of hours at my work, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And that's the other thing, is like I've noticed, well, that's getting a little too personal, but well, as someone with depression, and I'm already in the same video being a hypocrite here, so I do apologize, but like it feels like I try to fill my free time with stuff to keep me busy, be it streaming, be it playing video games, because I don't want to be alone with my own thoughts, if that makes sense. Even doing this, I'd rather be talking to stupid thing, the one person that's watching right now, than being alone with my thoughts, you know what I mean? Because obviously your brain loves to lie to you about shit, and I am on antidepressant, and it is helping me a lot, because I used to be a lot worse than what I am now, for sure. Um, especially with my anxiety and everything. Oh, it was so bad. But sometimes you get down. Sometimes it's just. Eh. Oh, there's no reason to be sorry. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. Just a chemical imbalance in the brain. And sometimes you try to take on too many tasks at once, and it's difficult to keep up and juggle some of those tasks at once. Like, I always start different video games, and I never usually finish those video games unless it's unless I'm hyper focused on that video game. But if I'm not hyper focused on that video game, I'll usually either end up dropping it or just won't finish it. And like, I lost track of how many different video games I am currently in the middle of playing right now. There's so many RPGs I'm currently in the middle of playing. And it's like, they usually tend to do a good job of distracting me. Either playing the games or like reading a manga or watching an anime. All these different things that we do to try to occupy our free time. All because we don't want to listen to the voice that's in our head. We shouldn't be afraid of quiet and peace and stillness. But for some reason we are. And I don't know if that's just a mental illness thing or a depression thing. And I'm not saying 100% all people are like that. No, of course not. Because I'll be like, I was playing a game earlier, and my heart just wasn't really into playing the game. And I'm like, why am I wasting my time playing this game when I'm not really all that into it? And then I was trying to think of the hell song is this? I was trying to think of like a different game I could play or whatever, and I'm like, well, why should I even play that? When it's just like, we're on this earth for such a short fucking amount of time. Am I really getting the most out of my limited amount of time here by playing games? And then my other side of the brain is like, well, it's fucking 10 p.m. What else am I going to be doing? It's like, I don't have the car because my boyfriend took the car to go to work. Like I said, this is my my therapy session, guys, and you're all my fucking therapists, so you gotta stay here and listen to me, bitch. No, I'm kidding. No, I wouldn't ever call this an actual podcast. I am trying to do an actual podcast, and that's with my boyfriend. That's on my other channel, and we talk. We try to talk about like either like paranormal shit and spiritual shit and all that. But we need to make another episode because it's still kind of new or in the progress of being fleshed out or whatever. But I thought I had something else I wanted to talk about, and right now I'm like, I can't fucking think of it, and I'm like, this is pissing me off. And as soon as I hit stop recording, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I should have talked about that too. I don't know. Should I just watch the Should I just watch the DSP documentary, or should I just stream it? Because I haven't seen it yet. But I don't really see what's the point of me streaming it is. And then that's the whole other thing I noticed, which is weird. I like streaming because I like interacting with you guys on the stream chat. And I know that fucking sounds like Phil, and I hate that. But it is true. It is better to talk with people while you're doing it. The weird thing is, at least on my channel, I tend to get more views on actual videos than I do on streams. It's like after the stream is done, I rarely get any extra views on it. But if it's a video, it tends to get more. I don't know. It's odd. Oh, Fist of the North Star? I've never played that game. I know it's based on an anime or something, but I don't know what the song is, though. And it's like, I can feel myself also going back to the video games or whatever. I'm feeling myself getting burnt out on video games a bit. And that happens every now and then because, like, I'll overindulge in JRPGs and stuff. And I'll do that for a while, fine. And then every once in a while, every couple months, I'll be like feeling myself get burnt out on them, which is kind of depressing because I do generally love JRPGs and games in general, you know. And then it's like you keep trying different games that I have because I have a whole collection of physical games back here. And I'm like, well, what game should I try? There's got to be one game that can grab my interest really good. Maybe I should replay this game. Excuse me. Maybe I should try replaying this game or play this game finally, even though it's been on the shelf for like 3 years and I haven't touched it yet. Maybe I should post like a picture, like as a community post for all the different games. That's not even all my games, to be honest. That's just because I got a lot upstairs on my bookcase upstairs. I was actually in a really cool video game store that sold a lot of older games and stuff. It was so fucking cool because they had a lot of very old rare games like on every console. Every fucking console you could think of, they had it there, along with a bunch of rare games from it. I'm like, this place is fucking awesome. How did I not know this place was this close to my plate, to my home? You know, it's so fucking cool. But it's also not good for my wallet. But I'm like, but I was looking at the prices they were charging for their games, and I'm like, God damn, if I ever wanted to actually sell some of the games I have, I could make a fortune. But the problem is, I think I'm like a bit of a hoarder in terms of that. It's like a lot of the I don't want to get rid of any of my games because like I've grown sentimental attachments to a lot of the games that I have. So it's like it sucks. Because it's like I have like some really rare games that could probably sell. Well, they were selling themselves. I don't know if the prices were inflated or not. But like they had a Game Boy Advance game that was not new, but still had complete in box for like $200. I'm like, I have that game with the box and all that shit at home, and I'm like, I could be selling that shit for $200. But I don't want to sell that shit for $200 because I had that game since I was a kid, well, a teenager. But it's still a really fun game, you know. Is GameFly still a thing? I didn't even know that was still a thing, to be honest. And yeah, like I have so many games I haven't played, but at the same time, I still have like 3 different RPGs I want to buy. I just don't have the money for it right now, and that sucks. Um, but I shouldn't be wasting all my money on fucking games either, though, and I know that. Now I'm not like Phil. I do make sure I pay. I actually do pay my fucking bills off first before I do buy games. I'm not that bad, but it is a bit of a spending addiction or impulse control issue. One of the two, you know? I still have issues with that. And I acknowledge that's an issue that I need to work on. I hate it because it does cause issues in my life. Like, I'm still in debt, even though I paid off all my debt before. Now, I'm not in debt as much as Phil was. God forbid. I don't know how the fuck you could be like $500,000 in debt. That's fucking insane. Like, super insane. I don't know how the hell he did that. But, and especially since my boyfriend wants us to move eventually in the next couple years. So I'm like, I think I'm probably going to have to downsize a lot of my stuff so that it doesn't cost a massive fortune just to move my shit across country like that, you know? So I probably should be. What was that one like YouTube lady who was like, "Oh, if it doesn't spark joy, throw it away" or something? Like pick up every single little thing. Does this spark joy? Does this spark joy? I don't know. And like I said, the problem is I think I'm like a bit of a hoarder. I don't hoard garbage. I hoard like games. I hoard things that like remind me of childhood and shit. You know what I mean? No, we're not doing that shit. I don't take charity. Plus, I'm able to pay my bills just fine, Mickey. I'm not doing that. But, like, also, as someone who has used Affirms before, I feel that's something that Phil is doing. Is using, like, things like Affirm and Sezzle and Zip and Klarna. I feel like he's actually doing that. Because that's an easy way to kind of use credit even though you have credit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's one of those like pay in for payment programs, right? And he's said before that he charged his TV, because you remember when he fucking had to buy a new TV or whatever? And he said he charged us to do some kind of payment plan through Amazon or something. I think it might have been an Affirm. Because he wouldn't even fucking pay for the whole ass TV that they had given him money for. No, you wanted a super fancy, expensive TV. My TV, I bought a new TV somewhat recently. It was like half a year ago at this point. But like, it was super cheap. Well, I wouldn't say super cheap, but it was like $250. I'm like, it works totally fine, and it's only $250. You don't have to get a $1,000 fucking TV, Phil. And I think mine's a 55-inch or 50-inch, something like that. I might just take I know I have my PS3 hooked up, but I might just unplug that and hook my PS2 up instead. That way I can still play some of my PS1 and PS2 games. But I don't know if I don't even know if this TV has a normal a audio-visual cables that you can plug into it. Do normal modern TVs still have that like yellow, red, white audio-visual hookups? Or would I need to get an adapter? I don't even know. And this whole thing's such a pain in the ass just to look behind it. I will eventually. I'll check it out. Is this still a... What is this? How the hell did it move to this? I had a playlist. I thought this was somehow still a Phil thing. What the fuck? I was gonna say, why am I listening to Christmas music? Oh, fuck, man. Like, if it was the end of the playlist, just fucking repeat itself or something. Don't just go to some random ass Christmas concert thing. I know, right? What the fuck? And I could barely hear it in my headphones. So I'm like, why am I hearing Christmas music barely through my thing? What the fuck? And at first I thought it was still a DSP song. Like, DSP doing some stupid Christmas song or something. I don't fucking know. And I have like so many books that I want to read, but the problem for me is just the act of sitting down and opening and reading a book. Does that make sense? Once I'm actually reading it, I'm fine, but just forcing myself to take a breath, turn off the electronics, and sit down and open and read a book is the hardest part. Because I like reading, and I could get into it once I'm actually reading it or whatever. But if I sit down on a couch, like, well, I could just play a game, right? I could just watch a movie or something. I'm like, well, actually, maybe I should actually open a book and read it instead. Because I have a lot of books that I need to read too. I got a lot of I got a backlog of everything. You name it, I got a backlog. Oh. TV shows, movies, video games, books, manga, videos I gotta fucking make. Because I want to branch out into the lolcows also. I was thinking about maybe doing like a Foodie Booty or Amberlyn Reed one. But I don't dislike them as much as I dislike fucking Bill though. Bill's the worst. Followed closely by that Melanie Mac bitch. Cause I think she deserves her own fucking being called a lolcow. There are lolcows out there that have done a lot less than make an ass of themselves like Melanie Mac did, to be honest. And she really does deserve it. I just don't care for her. I don't know if this song in. Alright, I think maybe that should be it for this. Because I'm running. I think I said everything I wanted to talk about, really. Um. Yeah, I get what I understand how that can be. I'm sorry to hear you have MS though. But I understand how that could be a bit. Because it's like, and just getting the mental fortitude to will yourself to get up and start something is difficult sometimes. You know what I mean? And not from even just from a physical aspect, but just mentally, just like, okay, I'm gonna get up and like right now, I'm putting off doing my dishes because I don't want to fucking wash my dishes, and I'm like, I'm procrastinating by doing anything but doing my fucking dishes. What I need to do is like, okay, brain, we've procrastinated enough. Get your fucking ass up and do those goddamn dishes. There's not even that many of them. That's what I need to do, but I'm not doing that. I'm over here right now instead. My god damn it. Aw. Well, what do you want me to talk about? Maybe next time you can come on and we can talk about something. I don't know. Because I was not planning on for this to be a very long one. And then I like that's another thing I need to buy. I need to buy a internal hard drive for my PS5. I have an external one, but yeah, I want an internal one because with the base PS5 memory card, not memory card, fucking memory hard drive is not very big. You can maybe fit 4 or 5 PS5 games on it. Well, see, I use paper plates also, but I still have. I use paper plates for most of the plates, unless it's like really wet or like if it's spaghetti or like lasagna or something like that. Then I'm gonna use a normal plate. But otherwise, I usually tend to use paper plates. But like even with paper plates, I have like pots, pans, bowls, cups, plates, mugs, silverware that all still add up that need to be washed also. And I'll draw the line at using just plastic silverware. I'm not gonna do that. I have a shitload of silverware. I'm just gonna use that. Although speaking of mugs, maybe a coffee wouldn't be too bad. Sounds pretty good right now. I don't know. At least my internet didn't crap out again. So I guess that I'm assuming that fixed it. Such a mess. I don't think paper pots would work on a stove. That's like, oh, what? You mean a cup of noodles weren't microwavable before? No, the styrofoam. They're not gonna handle very good in a fucking microwave. Well, I was having an issue with my internet earlier when I was trying to stream, so you go on my channel right now, you're gonna see 2 other failed stream attempts because like it would only start for like a couple minutes and then the stream would die. And I think it was because my Ethernet cable was not pushed in all the way, so I'm like, I don't fucking know. Well, keep trying, you'll eventually get a good idea. But the problem is, like, I have a ton of good ideas for, like, invention type stuff, but I don't have any technical know-how to, like, create the thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, even as a kid, I would come up with all these cool, like, gadget and, like, different, like, utility ideals for, like, things. And I would have no way to actually build the thing because I wouldn't know how to actually put it together, how it would work. I would just come up with the ideal of this, the ideal for that, but I wouldn't be able to actually make it work. And in order to get some kind of patent, you would have to actually like show how it's created and all that stuff. And I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to do that. Of course, too, looking back, a lot of the ideals I had were pretty trash, to be honest. But I had a few good ones that they're using now. I had an ideal that, like, for the cashierless grocery store, where there's no self-checkouts, there's no cashiers, you would take these fancy carts, and when you pick something off the shelf, and once you put it in the store, once you put it in the cart, there was like a ring around the top of the shopping cart, and once you put the item into your cart, it would scan the barcode and put it in there, and by the handle rails of the cart, it would have like a screen, so it would show you the total. So you take like this deck of cards and you put it in the cart, and it would scan it when it goes into the cart. You take this box of beer, you take it out, you put it in the cart, it would scan it, and it would show the total. And then you could just pay for it and take that and put it and take it out of the cart. You don't have to go through a cashier or anything. And I had an idea like that when I was like a teenager, and now they're starting to actually do that in some of these countries. I'm like, yeah, that's the shit, stupid ideas like that. I'm like, some of them are being made. I had an ideal for like, it was like a Roomba, but it was a lawnmower, like a lawnmower Roomba. That like you could pre-program the shape of your lawn and the size of your lawn into the Roomba thing, and it would mow your lawn automatically like a little robot. But it's just stupid ideas like that. But I can't really make it happen, like you said, because I don't know how to actually create that. I just thought of the ideal for it. I was a very creative kid, I will say that. Still am. And so I think they might have that. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure my dad would love it if he had something like that. he wouldn't have to mow the lawn all the time. And they have a lot. They have like 4 acres, I think. They have a lot of yard to fucking mow. And that's one thing I do like about renting is I don't have to actually mow my lawn, which is great. Because I don't really have a lawn anyway, which sucks. But I don't have to mow it, which is good. Nor do I have to plow. That's always good. But I don't know. I should probably get her to doing those dishes. Fucking dishes, man. It's part of being an adult now, though. You know, it's like every time you fucking wash the dishes, more of them pile up. It's like that blood moon in Zelda, where it's like in the blood moon, the blood moon rises and all the dead enemies come back to life. But instead of dead enemies, it's dirty dishes fill the sinks up again. That's what it's like. Like, god damn it. I just did it. See? Exactly. I could be making a killing on this if you could actually patent the ideal alone of these things. Companies should hire me just to come up with ideals, and then they should pay me for those ideals and turn those ideals over to some engineering group, and they can actually turn those into reality. That's what they should do. And I'd be rich. That's not my lot in life. And some people like to think there's such a thing as fate, and we're meant to do what we're meant to do. We're meant to have this job because this job will put us in line on this life path for a while, where we're meant to come up to this, and everything's pre-programmed out for the whole lives like that. Every single little step in your life has been pre-thought and pre-programmed out to the letter to put you in this position you need to be that will best fit your life, so you learn the lessons you're meant to learn. And some people just think that, like, we actually have free will, and that every decision we make will affect our outcomes and our destinies in life. I'm more in terms of the former. I kind of think like a lot of our lives are actually kind of pre-programmed and pre-lined out. And kind of think that like the whole thing where it comes in terms of free will is kind of like an illusion that we don't actually have. But that's kind of more of a philosophical ideal, I guess. I don't know. And that's not to say that like it's a bad thing. I think like each of us are put here for different reasons. Because I believe in reincarnation myself. Not to get too deep into anything, but I believe in reincarnation myself. So I feel like every time we are reincarnated, we are picking a lifestyle and a life and a way to learn different lessons throughout our lives. You know what I mean? To learn as much as we can, to experience as many different things as we can. This is my belief anyway. So in terms of that, we technically don't have free will, but maybe before we were born, we picked out the life that we lead now. We picked who our partners are going to be. We picked who our parents are going to be. We picked the hardships that we're going to face in life, all the good things we're going to experience. We picked the lessons we were going to learn in life, right? We picked maybe even how we're going to die even. And I don't want this to sound weird or complicated. It's just my personal spiritual beliefs in the matter. I don't want to sound like a fucking hippie over here or something. But and there's no point in being like Phil and Boogie when they bitch and complain about their lives and yet don't do anything to actually change it. Because let's be honest, like DSP has been giving so many opportunities to change his lot in life, and he just fucking hasn't at all. Like, he was given so many fucking opportunities, And I don't know if it's like if you believe in the string theory or not, but it's like the amount of fucking different parallel realities that he created based on his lack of choosing different things probably caused a lot of different um alternate realities and shit. Because like in some reality, Phil was actually really successful. I'm sure there has to be many different realities where he was actually successful and shit, but not anymore. That's for damn sure. Or not in this reality, I mean, because that's just not the case. Because he is an idiot and he doesn't seem to take any of the advantages given to him. He had everything and he threw it all away because he doesn't like change. And that just shows that we can't get too comfortable where we are in life. We got to take risks at some time, you know, because otherwise it's just going to lead to stagnation. And I think we can all learn something from that. Maybe I am a hippie. I mean, I would love to have a Volkswagen Boss. Those things are fucking cool, man. We're fucking tie-dye and shit. But I think I'm gonna head on out for now. I'm probably not gonna do that stream for the ESP documentary, I don't think. But I might be doing a stream in a couple days about something though. I don't know. I'll have to like look at my backlog of videos and see what I still have to do. But I'm gonna end it. And thank you for everyone who showed up. Thank you, Maki, for hanging out with me today. And I'll see you guys all later, all right? Yeah, I'll try to get my dishes actually done. Probably won't for a while still, but who knows? We'll see. I'll see you later.